Hey guys, this is Stephanie here with Empower Physical Therapy. And today we have Nancy, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear her story because I know you guys hear me all the time where I say where the side of the pain is may often not be where the source of the problem is. And she has that exact same story with knee pain. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about your knee pain, the history of it, what it was stopping you from doing, how long you've had it, all that good stuff.
My knee pain, I've had surgeries on both knees, and my knee pain has gotten worse of late. And the surgeries were, well, one of them was, I don't even want to tell you how many decades ago, but I had one a few years ago when I tore an ACL, which is what I've decided is the only real reason to get knee surgery is if you do something that drastic.
Oh, absolutely.
And, it was to the point I walked the dog every day and that was okay. But when I don't have that many stairs coming to my house. I have 3 steps coming from the street, and then I have 3 steps going to the front porch when I walk him. And I was literally kind of lurching my body up the stairs because it was hard for me to climb stairs. I really noticed it a few years ago when I was in Europe because there's stairs everywhere. And it was really, there was just one thing, I think it was in Rome. It was a memorial to their only emperor. And it was all stairs. It was like 8 stories worth of stairs. And I went, there's just no way I can do that. There's no way. So I didn't do that. I took pictures from the ground. Luckily, it wasn't a museum or something I really wanted to see, but it holds me back. And I was just tired of it. And Stephanie had Stephanie had worked wonders on my body. How many years ago was that?
Oh my gosh, probably 3 years ago, which is crazy that it's been that long.
Yeah.
It seems like it was just yesterday.
It does. It was more than 3.
It could have been. Yeah, it totally could have been.
It was like 5 or 6, I think.
No, I haven't been open that long.
You weren't open.
I wasn't open in my office, but I think it was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, it had to be because I had Grover.
Yeah.
My dog. And he loves Stephanie. But so I went, you're tired of this, you're tired of your knees just hurting. I've been doing yoga, but they still hurt. And I wasn't doing it correctly because I just didn't have any strength in them. And no matter how much I did yoga, it wasn't helping.
Yeah. What were some of your fears if you didn't get this solved?
That it would really, I'm retired, and what I was totally looking forward to, who knew about the pandemic, but what I was really looking forward to was travel. Yeah. And I did. As soon as I retired, I was like all over the place, and it was wonderful. And I was really worried that was going to be, here was my big plan, and I wasn't going to be able to do it.
Yeah. And, a lot of times people think that, I just need to get more strength in it and it's going to be able to help me. But you've got to go and take a step back, because if you can't actually move, like if the knee doesn't move, if the hip doesn't move, if the back doesn't move, if any of these pieces are a part of what's going on, your muscles won't fire. Like you can't get stronger. So you can do all the strengthening exercises you want to do and be like, but I'm not getting any better. And that's why.
Yep. That was happening.
So since coming in, and I know we're not completely done with therapy yet, we are, midway through it. Tell us now, how you're feeling and what's going on since then.
Well, you really pinpointed my left hip as a part of the problem and opening it up and doing that. It's like, now I climb stairs like a normal person. I'm not lurching my body forward to have my weight pull me up.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Yeah. And number 2 is, I can see how my body's acting in yoga, and it's like, oh, look, I can I can cross do a cross-seated, whatever you call that.
Crisscross. Yeah.
Crisscross sit. And I can do it fine. And I don't have to be on a bolster, or I don't have to be on 2 blankets.
Yeah.
And even my yoga teacher commented, he said, you've gotten much more limber. Your hips have got, and he said, it's your hips. Your hips have gotten much more limber, I can tell. So that's what I want to hear. That's the kind of thing.
And a lot of times we end up stretching the wrong way. We think that, oh, I've got to move my body this way so that I can get it to open up. And that's more of like, okay, I'm going to stretch the muscle so that I can actually move it. And it's not usually the case. A lot of times it goes back to, that first phase of physical therapy. You have to improve the mobility of the joints. And often the way we stretch it is opposite of what we think that we need to do. And that opens everything up. And I remember the first time I was like, whoa, your hip, it just wasn't moving. And it was amazing when we started getting it moving. Even on that first visit, the knee dropped, like your knee range of motion improved significantly. Now we've had to address some knee stuff as well because it's all connected, but a huge component, if you went to any other part of your body before, like going to the knee first and not getting to the hip, we wouldn't have the results that we had.
Right. And when that thing about you're stretching the wrong way, or, you're not, that was like a revelation for me.
Yeah.
I suddenly realized that it was the back bend that really helped stretch out that hip, and not
not bending forward. Yes. Yep. And then it opens up the bending forward. When you usually can find one direction, and sometimes it's a combination, but usually you can find one direction that opens up everything else. And it's really getting to someone that understands, like, hey, where is it coming from? What do we need to focus on? And then what are the right stretches? Because you can go and YouTube and Google things all you want. A lot of times it's the wrong advice for you. It may be the right advice for someone else, but you really, don't waste your time and like you being able to get back to doing the things that you love to do, because you're going to try to fix something on your own. You can see, how quickly you can progress when you get to someone that understands what's going on. So, which is my next question is, did you ever feel like you could progress this quickly when this has been going on for this long?
No, it was shocking. It really was shocking. After the first session with you, it was shocking.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean the first session she was fixed magically, because people sometimes come in and like, well, I want to get the results in like one visit. No, it was like one visit, which leading to the next visit, which leads to the next visit. Like each visit leads to itself to really build upon it and get you back to what you want to do. So what would you tell someone if they're on the fence about coming in to see us?
I've done a lot of physical therapy because I've done stuff to my body my whole life, right? And so they send you to physical therapy. I had one physical therapist that literally caused all this issue. She just really hurt me.
Yeah.
Really hurt me. But most of them haven't, but they're really all about strengthening. And if that's all you're trying to do, that's fine. Yeah. So you're strengthening different muscles in your body. Nothing's really healing. And that's what I keep saying about you when I talk to people is if you need a healer, you need to go to Stephanie, because the other PTs are good and for what they're doing, but they're not healing. They're just strengthening. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest difference for me is that you really look for what the root cause is and what we can do to heal those issues so that you don't have the other issues. Yeah.
We miss so many steps, and it's what happens in healthcare. And the first step really is that mobility piece of it. And if you miss that step, it could be that everything moves great. Then we've ruled that step out. Now we can go into the strengthening phase step. But if you go straight into strengthening and you don't check the mobility piece, you'll never get the resolution. If you go and only look at the site of the pain, like, only the knee pain, and you're not looking at like other areas above and below, that how the ankle moves, how the hip moves, how the back moves, you're missing a piece to it. And so it's really looking at the totality of everything to get you back And that's what our healthcare misses, because they don't have time to spend with you. I mean, a 5-minute appointment with a doctor is not going to give you the results. They're just going to do an image and say, here's the picture. Yeah, you have arthritis and let me give you an injection, and or you need surgery, versus sitting down and really spending the time. You go to most other physical therapy and they're in there with like 2 other patients at the same time, or three.
Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
can't even like sit down and really spend the time to figure this out. Where here we do have the time, which means you don't see us for, 30, 40 visits for something like you do for a traditional PT, seeing 2 to 3 times a week. We really see people once a week, sometimes twice if we need to initially at the very beginning, but we're really, really guiding you and teaching you what you need to do. So you're really going to not waste your time and money by getting the results by coming in and actually, seeing us.
Exactly. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad. I love, sharing people's stories, because it really helps other people see themselves. And so many people are just disheartened with our healthcare system and like, there's no one that can help me. They're going to hear your story and be like, oh my God, that sounds like me. Maybe this place can actually help. And so we're really excited to get your story out there.
Good. Good.